Guys, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because small channels need support too. Anyway, it looks like David Haye, the former WBA and former unified cruiserweight champion. Of course, he signed with Dereck Chisora, and now he's claiming that if Dereck Chisora beats Dillian Whyte, that he could definitely challenge Anthony Joshua for his unified belts. Now, that was one of the things I was afraid of. I talked about this a little bit briefly in my one of my videos, talking about the Dillian Whyte versus Dereck Chisora fight. I was saying, what would happen if Dereck Chisora beat Dillian Whyte? Because Eddie Hearn is trying to do these two back-to-back in-house fights with Dillian Whyte facing Dereck Chisora, and then Dillian Whyte facing Anthony Joshua once he beats Dereck Chisora, because Eddie Hearn really expects Dillian Whyte to beat Dereck Chisora, because he's already planning on having him face Dillian Whyte on April 2019. Right, he's been saying for a while now that that's the fight that he wants to be made for Anthony Joshua's return on April. Is it against a rematch with Dillian Whyte, which means that he truly believes that Dillian Whyte would beat Dereck Chisora in a rematch, right? Well, let's say that doesn't happen. Let's say Dereck Chisora pulls the biggest upset in his entire career, and he beats Dillian Whyte. Because every heavyweight has a chance. That's just the reality. Let's say he beats Dillian Whyte. Well, what happens now? That just ruined the rematch and the big money fight that Eddie Hearn wanted to do against Dillian Whyte versus Anthony Joshua. So what is it going to do with Dereck Chisora now that he has a win over Dillian Whyte? And I was thinking, he being a promoter, he would probably want to make Anthony Joshua versus Dereck Chisora, because again, he promotes Dereck Chisora. So even though that's not the fight he wants, if he beats Dillian Whyte, now he could promote that as like, all right, Dereck Chisora is a massive threat to someone like Anthony Joshua, and this is a worthy opponent. And he'll probably do that and then make the fight between Anthony Joshua and Dereck Chisora. I, for once, don't want to see that. I think that would be a bad fight, just because I don't think it's a worthy. I don't think Dereck Chisora is worthy of fighting for no world championship belt. I just don't, because he's at a stage where he's lost so many. Again, I feel like Dereck Chisora is a has-been. Okay, it's not like the year 2012, 2013. Like, there was a point in this guy's career where he lost 3 straight fights in a row. Like, that's why I just don't want to see that. I don't want to see Anthony Joshua defending his belts against no Dereck Chisora. Damn well he's not gonna beat no Anthony Joshua. He's not gonna beat no Anthony Joshua, man. I feel like fighters in the level of Anthony Joshua, fighters in the level of Dillian Whyte, I feel like they are a step above someone like Dereck Chisora. I feel like these guys, if they fight him, it's like a downgrade. That's how I honestly feel. Unless you're like a prospect, or unless you're like coming off several losses, then yeah, maybe fight Dereck Chisora. But I feel like if you're in the level of a Dillian Whyte and AJ, you're above fighting someone with 8 losses. That's just my opinion. And that's the crazy part is I'm picking Dillian Whyte to beat Dereck Chisora 100%. But this is boxing. He might pull the upset. And if he pulls the upset, then who am I to say he doesn't have a right to fight to face Anthony Joshua? He just beat Dillian Whyte, a guy who was in line to face AJ. But again, I really wouldn't have a right to be like, oh, this guy don't deserve a shot at AJ, because I wouldn't have a right to say that because he just beat Dillian Whyte. But I still wouldn't like that fight, just because I look at Dereck Chisora as a bona fide journeyman. I look at him as a journeyman. So even though I wouldn't have the right to be like saying that this guy don't deserve a shot over AJ, especially after he beats Dillian Whyte, still, as a boxing fan, I wouldn't like it because, like I said, I know that Dillian Whyte ain't gonna beat no Anthony Joshua. I know that Dereck Chisora ain't gonna beat no Anthony Joshua. Are you crazy? Are you crazy, man? You must be crazy if you think Dereck Chisora could stand a chance against Anthony Joshua. He's definitely getting knocked out. So again, I wouldn't really have a right if he wins Dillian Whyte, if he beats Dillian Whyte, because it's like, he beat him though. But still, I again, my feelings towards Dereck Chisora is that he's just some journeyman who gets these shots for no reason because he always loses, and I don't want to see him in there again, and especially against these legit heavyweights. Watch, Joe Joyce could beat Dereck Chisora. Like, if Joe Joyce fought Dereck Chisora next month, I would be picking Joe Joyce to beat him. You know, I feel like there are prospects out there that could beat Dereck Chisora at this stage in his career. That's how I feel like, personally. That's why I feel like he shouldn't be getting these shots with these legit heavyweights when he ain't gonna beat them. You know, there's other heavyweights out there that I think deserve it more. You know, look at Jarrell Miller. I think Jarrell Miller deserves a fight with Dillian Whyte more than Dereck Chisora, because at least Jarrell Miller's undefeated. You know, he's not some recycled heavyweight that we saw lost 9 times. You know, so like someone like Jarrell Miller is more deserving. I just feel like, again, this guy is just a broken record. I've seen him so many times, and he always comes up short, man. That's all I have to say. I'm out. Subscribe, guys.